Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Tailgate. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here we have the pig hook, hooky hook. A couple of pieces of tape up here on the top. Autobot logo, Autobot tailgate, Takara Tomy. Little bit of a window that rolls down to the front, or folds down to the front there. And on the front, we've got some nice artwork of tailgate in both modes. Got a nice window here showcasing, most of the figure and an accessory back there. He's more than meets the eye. 12 steps to transform from robot to car, 8 and up. Transformers, Age of the Primes, Autobot logo, Autobot tailgate, Hasbro print. On the bottom, we've got small print, fine print, legalese print, made in Vietnam print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and includes figure and one piece. Not an accessory, but a piece. You can interpret that however you like. On this side, we've got some nice robot mode artwork there, which is same from over here. It's just kind of blown up a little bit. And then Transformers Age of the Primes, Autobot tailgate on the other side. Till all are one, and then in some other languages as well. And, a small representation there of the 13 Primes and their symbols. Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class. And then finally on the back, we've got Autobot logo, Autobot tailgate. Nice digital renders of the figure in both modes. Again, transforms in 12 steps. He's more than meets the eye authentic. And here we have small print, fine print, legalese print, made in Vietnam print. Warning! Don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it a baby's barcode. Assortment number if you need that kind of thing. Whatever that number is. And Hasbro print. That, my friends, completes our look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure in his alt mode and accessories. And speaking of accessories, the only one we can really look at in his alt mode is the handy dandy instruction manual. So here we have it. Autobot tailgate, Transformers, Age of the Primes, 8 and up. Retain instructions for future reference. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada. Takara Tomy print, Hasbro print, whatever all that is. So on the inside of the list is clearly printed and nicely illustrated details on how to transform this Transformer. So, there I go bumping the camera because of course it's a Digital Caveman Presents review. So now let's take a look at his alt mode, and for the most part, guys, if you have or have watched or anything with the Studio Series 86 Wind Charger, you're pretty familiar with this. The transformation is the same and all that good stuff. And a lot of the paint details are the same, but not quite. So we still have the opening here for the, Wind Charger's sonic thingy. Blast effect. His blast effect. So, but no blast effect in this one. Got some nice spots of color there for the headlights and a nice silvery, kind of grayish silver for the grille, silver for the wheels, and black for the tires. They're not rubbery tires or anything. They're just, plastic. We've got the louvers in the back. We've got the windows in the top, or the T-top, whatever you want to call it. And unlike Wind Charger, his windshield is blacked out rather than transparent plastic, which is fine with me. Around the back, just like Windcharger, it's a little messy back here. And of course on the undercarriage, lots of visible robot syndrome going on. There's this weapon stores just like Windcharger's. However, unlike Windcharger, you can put his backwards so that it looks like a tailpipe if that is something you want to do. And the weapon is not the same as Windcharger's. It is a little bit different. So we've got a nice Autobot tampo here on the hood, and it lines up nicely, even though it's split right down the middle there. But for the most part, it lines up nicely. It's off just a tad, but that's okay. And how does he roll? He rolls all right. It's not too tight. It's not too loose. So there you have it. My friends, I keep bumping the dang camera. I do apologize about that. There we have it, my friends. A look at the figure in his alt mode. It's time for alt mode comparisons. And here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Tailgate with the Transformers Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Windcharger and the Walmart exclusive Transformers Retro Carded Deluxe Class Outback. For our last set of alt mode comparisons, here we have Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Tailgate with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee and the Amazon exclusive Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Alternate Universe Optimus Prime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the comedy portion of our program where I attempt to transform this Transformer right in front of you. So, let's start, see if I can remember how to do this. I didn't really look at the directions for this one because I pretty much remember mostly how to do it from Windcharger. So first of all, you want to unhook the front end. You can see there's two ports right there, or slots, and then there's the tabs on the inside right there. So let's see if I can get it. First thing you got to do is remove that pesky gun. So we got it off and out of the way. You can see it's out of the way now. So now it's nothing that's jamming it up. So that's nice. So next up, we gotta do this part. So this, you have to lift this up. There's like a double hinge up under here. You can't really see it from here, but there's the tab here on both sides, and you kind of have to work it out of there. And in front of the camera, of course, it's hard to do because it's too far away from me. I can't get the proper leverage on it. And now, my friends, you know why I call this the comedy portion. So give me just a second. Alright, let's see if I got it loosened up enough. I did have to take the handy dandy tweezers and lift it up on this front end. But you do lift it on the back and then you have to lift it on the front. So there's that. Now you can see that hinge up under there. It's hinged here and up in here as well. And so then we can open the arms up. We can pull them down here at the shoulder blades, I guess. And then the hands are flipped back here, so you flip those forward on these ball joints. So then you can take this part, and you have to get this lip right here over this tab, and you hear a nice satisfying click when you get it into place. So separate the legs, and you can see there's posts and ports on it. So first you want to flip the grill in on both sides. Then you want to take the tires and pop it off just like that. So of course I'm trying to flip these wheels in, and I did have to look at the instructions, and they don't, unlike Windcharger, these don't flip in. There's a little tab right there that keeps it from flipping in. So his is not supposed to flip in. So I guess that's a little bit of a difference, and there are a few little differences. So then you flip it or bend it here, and then there's a hinge here as well, and you can see there's a tab right here and an open slot right here, and those go into position there just like that. And then on the other side we'll flip this up, and then we'll flip this up and make sure that we get that tab and slot lined up on that side. There you have it, my friends. Tailgate all transformed with only a little bit of difficulty. Let's take a look at the figure in his robot mode and accessories, because we didn't get to look at him in vehicle mode. So we'll start off this time with the accessory. And this gun is a little different than Windcharger's, which I wasn't expecting. In fact, there's a little bit more retooling on this figure than I was expecting, period. So there you go. It's all molded in one color, no paint apps, so just a little bit of waffling. A very short post on it right here, and it's got a little post on it right here as well, and then a post on the end for blast effects. So very nice looking. And to show that it is different than Windcharger's, there you go. I mean, it does have some of the same features in it, but done differently. So there's that. Now let's take a look at the figure himself. And first off, you'll notice that the head is different than Windcharger's, and the torso. Now these upper arms are also a little bit different than Windcharger. They have some extra, like these vented details right here. They're a little different than on Windcharger. So basically from the waist up, it's different. And then the upper arms are different, and I think these parts, yeah, these, like from the elbows down, seem to be the same. And then the waist is actually, the crotch piece is a little different as well. It's got these triangle details on it here that Windcharger doesn't have, and then this is a separate or a different sculpted piece as well. And then of course the wheels here are different in the fact that they don't flip in to the legs and they stay out. So, and then we've got some black here, we've got a nice Autobot tampo here, silver for the face, and then it looks like some light blue for the eyes. Let's get the handy dandy pin light out and see if it helps any. Sorta, kinda. So I hope you guys could see that. And now I go bumping the camera again. Let me raise it up just a tad. There we go. And then I'm going to bump it again anyway. So that does it for what's new. Like, this piece is the same. It's just, you know, it's the same. And then these are all, you know, the legs are all the same. So, all right, let's take a look at his articulation. And I noticed something on this one that I missed, or at least I think I missed. I don't remember covering this on Windcharger. But on the back of the head, there's this little lever. And on Windcharger, mine was stuck, so I imagine I missed it. But he does have it as well. And you lift up on that tab, and he looks down that far. And then you push down on the tab, and he looks up that far. So, you know, that's a nice little bit of engineering, because I didn't notice it before. So the only other movement in the neck he has is rotation, and he does do 360 degrees of it, or the full exorcist, whichever you prefer. So at the shoulder, I think that's locked into place so it doesn't go up, but even if it did, it's part of transformation, so I don't count it. So at the shoulder, it's on a ball joint, 360 degrees of rotation, and he can raise his arm up that high. At the elbow, it's single hinged, but it's on a swivel. So the swivel is up here on, a mushroom peg. And then the hinge gives you about 90 degrees worth of bend. At the wrist, it's on a ball hinge here, but it doesn't really do anything but move up and down, and that's mostly just for transformation. At the waist, 360 degrees of rotation. At the hips, he can give you the full splits. He kicks forward, good Lord. That far? Enough to be in the Rockettes. And he kicks back that far, enough to be a mule. So then there is a cut here at the upper thigh on a mushroom peg. You can see right there, 360 degrees of rotation. Single hinge at the knee, and it's tight. I think Windchargers was real tight like this too. There. So you get that much bend out of that knee, which, you know, it's not quite 90 degrees. So, and then there's a hinge right here. And I think this is mostly due for transformation, but this is also the ankle way up here, because all of this is his foot. So you get a little bit of up and down with the ankle, and then you do get some rocker as well. So a little better than 90 degrees worth of it, it looks like. So, and then, you know, the feet are the feet. They didn't make any improvements from that 86 Windcharger. And then we just put his gun in his hand, which isn't always the easiest because of that short peg. But if you support the hand here under the bottom while you're putting it in, it shouldn't be too much of an issue, like doing that thing right there while you're trying to put the weapon into place. And there you have it, my friends. That is a look at the figure in his alt mode. No, in his robot mode. It's his robot mode. Of course it's his robot mode. It's time for my favorite part of a Transformers review, robot mode comparisons. And here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Tailgate with a Transformers Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Windcharger and the Walmart exclusive Transformers Retro Carded Deluxe Class Outback. For our last set of robot mode comparisons, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Tailgate with the Transformers Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee, and the Walmart exclusive Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. For final ramblings on the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Tailgate, I have to say I finally have a complete set of the mini-bots, the G1 mini-bots. Because we're not counting Bumper, number one. You know, it was just... He's not really super official. I guess, well, maybe he is now because of being included in that Target 4-pack. But, I'm not counting. Because originally it was just, you know, there were several Bumblebee and Cliffjumper color swaps or variations. And, you know, even in some countries, there's a lot of variations on at least the Cliffjumper mold. I want to say the Bumblebee mold too, but I could be wrong. Then, you know, and I don't know if those characters all had names, but anyway, I don't really count Bumper as a real official mini-bot. And if I happen to find a way to get him, like maybe they put him on a retro card or something like that, something by itself rather than in that 4-pack, I may pick it up, but I don't think the chances of that are great, seeing as how they have not re-released Goldbug from a Target 4-pack years ago. But I don't know, there may be some Volkswagen rights issues going on there. I don't know what that is. And number two, I don't really like that 86 Studio Series 86 Bumblebee mold. I just, it's not my favorite. But finally, I have a complete set of mini bots. I didn't have all the G1 mini bots. I think I had like all of the first releases, and then like the second wave of them, you know, with Sea Spray and Beachcomber. I had Sea Spray and Beachcomber. I did not have Cosmos or Power Glide, and there may have been another one in there. And then like that third wave of mini bots that were the retools of, you know, the original ones, like Outback and Pipes and Tailgate here, and who's the other one? Swerve. You know, those were just, I don't know if I was aging out at that point, or I never saw them, or I just like, hey, I kind of already have these guys, so I don't really want them. But I don't recall ever seeing those figures in a store, but it could have been because I wasn't looking for them. And, you know, I've had chances of, like, when Walmart had their re-releases of some of the mini bots, you know, I could have gotten the G1 versions then, but I just didn't want them at that point, because we're not talking, it wasn't that long ago, you know, maybe 4, 5, 6 years, probably not 6 years, but, you know, if you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But this guy, for me, he completes my Autobot mini bots in deluxe scale, in, you know, for the modern lines, even though they're spread across everything from War for Cybertron, Earthrise, through Legacy, through now Age of the Primes. And, you know, it takes a while to get the things done. I get it. I understand. And, you know, it's fine. It took a while to do it. But I will say this. The Transformers team has completed the Minibot team quicker then the Marvel Legends team has completed some teams, but you know, they're making short work of that, even over on the Marvel Legends team now, I think, because it's getting down to character selection. You know, there's only so many Spider-Mans and Wolverines and stuff you can do. You got to start scraping deeper in the pot for characters. And you know, we recently got Marina, which I thought was a character they would never do, but you know, they are to complete that Alpha Flight team. And then they've got Box as the Build-A-Figure, and I think that finishes Alpha Flight off, unless they're going to update stuff, which they probably will. But I don't know why I'm rambling on about that stuff. This figure, if you're expecting something a lot different than Wind Charger, if you have that 86 Studio Series Wind Charger, there's not a lot different going on. The engineering is exactly the same. There is some retooling, like the upper arms are retooled, the torso, the head are retooled, and then the wheels on the leg are retooled so that they don't swing in like Wind Chargers do. And I even looked on the instructions, and you know, it doesn't say to put them in, so I guess they stay out, which is fine, because it harkens back to that original figure more, because that original Wind Charger tailgate mold, the wheels stayed out. So, you know, if they're homaging the toy more than its cartoon appearance, then that would be, you know, correct. And if, I don't even know, was he was in one episode of season 3, I think. I don't know, I haven't watched season 3 a lot, so I don't know if it's accurate to the cartoon with the tires being out or not. Maybe they did do that just to differentiate him up from Wind Charger a bit. But and while we're talking about retooled stuff, the gun is definitely not the same gun. I don't know if it's retooled or if they just went back to the drawing board and did a whole new gun. It does share some similarities with it, like the tab hole, the slot in the back to put it on, and the little knob on the side there. But other than that, well, the size of the peg that he holds it with. But other than that, it not so much. It's pretty different, and I do appreciate that. And again, there's more retool going on here than I actually expected. And then the fact that he's got that lever on the back of his head that you can see as he's moving around now, that makes him look up and down, which Wind Charger had, but I think I noticed it, but the tab was stuck, so I didn't really mess with it too much. But it's unstuck now, I guarantee you, because now I know that it moves. And so overall, I like this. I'm glad to complete that mini-bot collection, and I honestly hope that the throttle bots are next in line, and that would be cool, because I like the throttle bots, even though, like, my Transformers Bible is the Marvel Comics run, and they were in 2-3 issues maybe, the entire team of throttle bots. Of course, Goldbug played a much more prominent role than the rest of the throttle bots, but you know, I would like to see them. I just hope they don't make them all deluxe class. Like, they can all be deluxe class except for the orange dump truck. His name, Overload or Wide Load, something like that. I can't remember right offhand, but I would like to see him be at least a Voyager class. That would be cool. And you know, they weren't a combiner, but you know, if they were to make it a combiner, I wouldn't complain. too much about it, except for maybe the size. I would complain about the size because they're not doing combiners in what I think is an appropriate size. The Constructicons were way too small in the 86, the Studio Series 86 Constructicons. I think they were just too small. Even the alt modes were, I don't think they were scaled properly. But of course, I would have liked to have seen them all been leader class sized, and then maybe done long haul as a commander class, and made him a little bit larger than leader class, and you know, the extra, he comes with the extra pieces. That I think would have worked a lot better. And don't get me wrong, I have the Combiner Wars Titan class Devastator, and that is my Devastator. It is, to me, of the appropriate size. It does have issues. It doesn't pose well and stuff. Sometimes it doesn't balance well. It doesn't like to hold his gun up too well. But because it's the proper size, to me, that's the one that's in my display. But then, you know, here I am rambling off topic again when I should be talking about this guy. And he, you know, for what he is, he's great. He's a deluxe class. He's got some gappy bits. He's got a little waffling. But, you know, I like that the mini bots are now complete. At least as far as I'm concerned. Bumper, that's another... Shut up, Bumper. And so, but I'm glad to finally, after 40 plus years, able to complete a set of mini bots. And I don't know if maybe in like the Earth Wars or Prime Wars, whatever Hasbro was calling it. I know some of these characters did get a lot in there, and there could have been a complete set of mini bots that way, but they really weren't the style that I wanted, because I'm pretty sure they did all of the mini bots in across the Earth Wars or Prime Wars line. But again, you know, I didn't get a lot of them because they weren't my style. Some of them I did get simply because I had never had that character before. Like I did get a Cosmos, I did get a Power Glide, Sea Spray, Beachcomber. I did get those guys. I did get the Bumblebee, of course, from the Titans Returns, because I use him in every Transformers review. But anyway, I guess I have rambled on long enough, because that is all I'm doing, is rambling random thoughts about Transformers and stuff. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.